Greetings, everyone, and welcome. I hope everyone has been doing great. I hope you've been building and scaling your Amazon business. And if you haven't been, I hope you're taking those necessary steps to start selling on Amazon. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how I found products like this and like this. And if those are just the screenshots of the Amazon FBA calculator, but in summary, they're high selling items with high ROI and very few sellers. Now, obviously that's an ideal item and they're few and far between, but in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I found those using a specific software. Now, if you're new here to my channel, or if you're just new in this space in general, there's a software a lot of YouTubers, and including myself, talk about called Tactical Arbitrage, where in a nutshell, we're just taking data from Amazon's catalog and comparing it to the catalog of a store such as Target, Walmart, Kmart, whatever. However, it's not that easy. And I see so many YouTubers talk about it, big YouTubers, small YouTubers, where it's just, oh, you search this store and you're going to find some items. And it would be awesome if that was the case. However, that's not the case. You're going to need specific filters in Tactical Arbitrage in order to really succeed using this software. Because if you don't have the correct filters in place, what's going to happen is you're going to get so many results. You're going to be filtering through the results for hours, and then you're going to convince yourself this doesn't work. There's too many items here, or it's too saturated. It just doesn't work. And we don't want that to happen. You have to be smarter than the competition. I use this analogy all the time. Just because a forklift moves pallets from point A to point B, if you don't know how to use it, it's completely pointless. And this is the same exact thing. Now, before we go ahead and get into the details of that, I'm going to be giving away two things. One is the hour giveaway call I give away every single video. The winner from the last video is right here. Reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram and we can set that up. And the next thing I'm going to be giving away is pretty big, in my opinion. To one viewer next video, I'm going to be giving away my pick and pack center information. Now, the reason why I think this is such a big deal is because I've been through quite a few pick and pack centers. These guys are, in my opinion, the best. They are, not only do they get my items out sometimes that day they arrive, but they are so cheap. About 70% of the time, I can send items to them and it's cheaper than it would be sending it to myself, which means that not only am I saving on time, but I'm saving on money as well, money and time. It's completely crazy. So I'm going to be giving away that to one viewer, and all you have to do if you want to be entered in for that specifically, just tell me in the comments below where you're at in your Amazon business and why that would be a big deal for you. I'm pretty excited about that. Now let's go ahead and get into the details of the actual filters I use that help me find really good items on Tactical Arbitrage. I've actually talked to some of you guys separately. I let you know the filters I use, and then the next day or even the day after, I get messages that are like, man, I can't believe I found so many items. That it's pretty awesome. And I also want to say too, is that this doesn't necessarily mean that these are the end all be all filters. I have talked about this in somewhere in one of my past videos, like the filters I used, and they change, they evolve. It depends really on the store. And I highly recommend that you play with the filters as well. So just consider this maybe a starting point and then play with them on your own. So that's how I developed these. So I have my notes right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to hop into Tactical Arbitrage. And the first thing we're going to do is, if you notice, there's filters underneath the product search, and this can also be applied to reverse search as well. It's the same thing, like pretty much. We're just going to be covering product search though. What we're going to be doing is, the first thing is, before we even hop in the filters underneath, we're going to be going into our settings, and we're going to be going into the searching. Then we're going to go to search filters, and then we're going to go to rank filters. What this is going to do is it's going to allow us to enter in a rank, and it will not bring up any results over this specific rank. Now, the reason why this is better than just in the filters putting, I don't want anything over 100,000. You're really shooting yourself in the foot here if you're not entering it in for specific categories, because every category is a different size. And the bigger categories, the larger ranks might be okay, but the smaller categories, it might not. And let me give you guys some examples here. For example, in electronics, anything over 10,000 is very slow moving. And to be honest, I really don't even source anything that's 10,000 in electronics. But then you get books, and 3 million is fine. Baby is a smaller category, so the rank might be a little lower. Beauty is a bigger category, so larger rank might be better. This is really important. So I can set these filters up and I'm going to be okay going forward. So it'll bring up those more competitive ranks. Now, after you do that, the next thing before we hop into the actual filters is, if you notice here, it says cache, and I like to put mine on 3-day setting for product search. Now, all you need to know is the closer you get to live mode, the slower the search results get. Now, that usually means that the more accurate they are, but if you use 5-day, that means that your scans are going to be quicker, but the results may not be as accurate. So for example, you may do a scan, it may say that the item's in stock, when in reality, when you click on the item in that store, it may actually be out of stock. I usually play around with this. I keep mine at 3. I might bounce around higher or lower. It really just depends. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go back to the filters, and we're going to go to underneath product search. And let's go ahead and just start at the bottom, right? Okay, so the very bottom, it says other filters. I'm not going to mess with this at all. And guys, I want to stress too, just because I'm not messing with this does not mean that you can't toggle these. I personally just don't toggle these myself. So I don't mess with other filters. Then going up to profit ROI, I don't mess with that. I'll explain why later on. Then going up, the cost to prep, I do not mess with this, because keep in mind that I think if I was only sending to prep centers, I would put in something here, but I don't want to just put in a prep cost, because there are times where I can save $30, $40 by shipping it to myself. And because I can process units so quickly, I just send it to myself and it's no big deal. And if I were to put that into the filters, it may not have brought that item up. So it's kind of like a leeway. So that's me personally. Now, if you are sending into prep centers and that's all you're doing, you're out of the country, I know a few of you I talk to on a daily basis are, it probably is going to be good to put that in there. Just wanted to throw that out there. Now, source titles, I don't really mess with either. And the one right underneath the product search is the one that I do a lot of the filters in. And I'll explain the ones that I use. So the very first thing that I use is the remove current ranks as per setting. Those ranks that we put in our settings, that's what I put in, that's what I filter for. I'm not filtering, I may change that current to 30-day, but I usually don't go over 30-day because the difference between 90-day and current can be quite drastic. And I've played around with both. I recommend playing around with both, but me personally, I'll bounce between current and 30 days. Now, another thing I sometimes toggle with is remove products if the number of sellers is more than. Sometimes you'll get a crazy amount of sellers per item, so it might be profitable. But the thing is with me, I usually don't fill that in because odds are if it's still profitable and there are a ton of sellers, usually means that there's a large demand for that and you usually just don't see it. So I usually just leave that blank. But if I were to put a number in there, it might be 30 to 40. It really just depends. Now, the next one that I'm going to mess with, or I want to touch on, is I don't really remove ratings lower than. So I've actually done really good selling 1 and 2 star products. Just because it's a low rating doesn't mean that it's not selling well. Some people don't want to sell those low rated items. I personally don't have an issue with it. I haven't had any bad problems with it. Now, if it were me personally and I'd gotten a bad seller feedback in regards to that item, well, number one, I would probably contact Amazon customer support and have them remove it, but you should be good because it's not a private label product. Now, the next thing we're going to do is remove products if Amazon title contains the words. Now, this can go one of 2 ways. I like to remove the Amazon title if it says packs, bundle, set, count, pack, and you can see all the ones that I use. And this is because sometimes it will pull up the same UPC code or product image and it will compare it to that of the website. And the website might be selling 1, but the Amazon listing might be selling 6. So it looks like it has a ROI of, 800%, when in reality, it's just more of the same item. And that can get really, really frustrating if you don't enter this in. It can get extremely frustrating. Now, that being said, I have found a couple of items of mine that do extremely well because a lot of other sellers, including myself, put these filters in and they just skip it over. Like, for example, there was one that was like pack of 3 and it was a large ROI. And my guess is a lot of tactical arbitrage sellers, users just skipped it. So if you have a little bit more time that day, you're feeling a little bit more ambitious, or there's a specific website that you may think may be better, you might want to remove those, but just know you're going to be filtering through quite a bit of data. And the last thing that I want to cover on is I always enter in at least a gross profit percentage of a certain percent. And I always keep it lower. So in my videos, you guys know I don't like to source products that have an ROI, return on investment, under 45%. The reasons I give is because in case that item, the supply overruns the demand, basically it gives you a little bit of a cushion for profit. Now, I'll put in 10%, and the reason why I put in 10% is just in case there's some coupon offers out there, or there's something that I didn't enter in that will buffer that. So I'll go through the ones that are 10% ROI and just see, okay, is that store running, or is there some kind of crazy promotion on that store or coupon that I must have missed? So that's why I put that at 10%, even though in reality, I'm really only sourcing at least 45% ROI, bare minimum at least. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is the percentage of that store. And this is my favorite setting. And this is the one I truly believe has given me the best results. So what I'm going to do is that if you're bulk listing, if you're bulk searching a lot in tactical arbitrage, it's hard to get every deal that's going on. So I might be searching, let's go to Walgreens, and this particular line of beauty products might have 25% off. But then this product might have 50, buy one, get one free, which is essentially 50% off. And what you do is you can calculate that and plug that in to the percent of that item. And what it'll do is it'll calculate that into the gross profit percentage. It is absolutely crucial. That's going to pick up on things that you may not have gotten otherwise. For example, a $20 item that is selling on Amazon for $30 obviously isn't going to meet those criteria we just specified. However, if it's 50% off or 25% off, it might fall into that criteria. That's what I really feel like has given me the edge on tactical arbitrage. So I'm going to end it there, guys. I hope you guys found some value in this video. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave those in the description below. Reach out to me via email. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video.